Namaste from India. We're going to start our lesson now on setting. Alright, so I would like to introduce my wonderful classmates. So this is Ketty, and this is Montana, and we are studying abroad in India, so we're going to start our lesson now. So we're going to talk about setting today. So does anyone kind of want to talk about maybe what is setting? How would you define that? Anybody? Ketty?
A setting is a location where a story takes place.
A location. I like that. So let's do location. Montana, do you have anything that maybe we could add to that? What else, besides where the story takes place, what else kind of goes into the setting of a story? All right, that's okay. So we're also going to, besides just talking about the actual physical location, we're going to talk about the time period also. So the definition of setting, so you can write this down on your worksheets, the definition of setting is the space and time in which a story takes place. So now, together, so we've now defined setting, but let's see if we can put this into a context that maybe you guys might have previously understood. So have you ever heard of Little Red Riding Hood?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe, Ketty, could you tell me what's the story of Little Red Riding Hood? Putting you on the spot a little bit. Would you like to phone a friend?
I phoned Montana.
Yeah, so Montana, do you have anything to help Ketty out?
So like there's a girl, and she's got this red hood and cape. She's going through the woods, bringing some treats to her grandmother.
Okay, so I would like to point out a really important thing that you just said. You said she's in the woods with her little red hood. So the most important thing that you, in that sentence of your description, was that it happens in the woods. Can you imagine if Little Red Riding Hood was on the moon? It would be totally different. She would be riding over moon craters rather than around trees and past little woodland creatures, right? So it's really crucial that Little Red Riding Hood is in the woods, okay? So maybe together we could brainstorm some spaces and locations that maybe you would like to write a story about. So can I maybe hear 2 or 3? You can just shout them out and I'll write up some good ones up on the board of locations where stories can take place. Anything, maybe in a book you've read, something you've seen on television, anything. The settings are everywhere.
The ocean.
The ocean. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? We need about 2 or 3.
The jungle.
Jungle. Ooh. That's a good setting for the Jungle Book, right?
I'm sorry, that was really fast.
And one more? Anybody?
A library.
A library. And what about a time period? So right now we are in 2013, which I still think it's 2012, but it's not. So what about a time period? Maybe somewhere in the past, the future, anything. It can be as specific or as general as you want.
1862.
1862. That's pretty specific. Ketty, could you give me one that's maybe a little less specific?
The future.
The future. And that can be, you can be as creative as you want with the future. Oh, hello, Bob. Welcome to my classroom. Okay, Bob, could you maybe give us one more time period? It can be as specific or as general as you want. Would you like to phone a friend?
No. The top of the World Trade Center.
Well, that's a really good location, but can you think of maybe a time period in which that... And so, anyway, well, how about, Montana, could you pick a number for me, 1 through 5?
2.
2? All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to end up picking 2 of these, and what you guys are going to do is you're going to draw a picture of that setting, so location and time. And so let's see if we can pick 2. So you picked the number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. So you're going to draw a library in the future. So on your papers, I'd like you to spend the next couple minutes, speed it up a little bit, but you can draw the library in the future. And then fast forward, for homework, what I'd really like you to do is write your own stories with your own characters in 10 sentences about what's going on in your setting. All right? And then we'll come in tomorrow and we're going to share and talk about good setting points and context clues that we can get out of those stories. So thank you. Here comes the D. Here comes the D-A. Here comes the D-A-L-Y-W-O-R-D. I love to R-E-A-D so I can L-E-A-R-N, and I will always chant the D-A-L-Y-W-O-R-D.